Something happened yesterday. Something happened that was so freaking exciting that I was like on a buzzing high for the whole day yesterday. I don't know if anybody knows, or if anybody's a fan of Mark, but for the past couple of months, Markiplier has been working on a movie, and he's talked about it before, posted about it on YouTube, talked about it in his podcasts. Yesterday, he posted a teaser trailer, and a couple of months ago, last year actually, a game called Iron Lung was released. It was a small indie horror game that only took about like an hour and a half to 2 hours to play. Mark, for some reason, really fell in love with the idea behind it, and he also fell in love with the lore. He kept saying, he has been saying, that the movie that he was making was not going to be something we expected. And boy, did I not expect him to make a movie about Iron Lung, a small indie horror game that only took less than 2 hours to play. And it's already looking amazing. The teaser was only like a minute and a half long, but it was still insane. And then a few other things started to click. He said that he wanted to keep Hollywood out of it. So it's been released that he's been working very, very closely with the developer of the game. The developer is actually writing the script. Mark is doing literally everything else, or learning. I don't know what, but he's acting in it, obviously. And this movie is going to be for theatrical release. So what I'm thinking is, if this does good, Hollywood may actually need to get their heads out of their asses to focus on how certain live action movies need to be taking place. Live action, or even just things that they want to wrap their hands around just to take control for the money, you know? They need to stop thinking about the money, and I think that's what Mark is doing. Mark is proving that you can have a close relationship and actually listen to the developer and make something amazing. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but Netflix still hasn't released a whole lot about the live action Avatar show that they were supposedly doing. And what made us all excited was that the original writers were working with Netflix, but then a year later, they announced how they didn't like the way Netflix was doing things, so they left. Which is going to turn into another M. Night Shyamalan disaster. Yeah, that's how I felt too. But when it comes to video game movies, there have always been a lot of different issues. Like, you remember the Sonic design, right, Leighton? The original Sonic design? The one that we said, oh hell no to, and bullied that poor animation company? And even more recently with the Mario movie, a lot of people got pissed off that Chris Pratt was Mario. And I have a lot of other quirks with the Mario movie, but Chris Pratt was like the least of my... Oh my god. Anyways, so there is a lot of possibility for Mark to make something amazing, and for be able to show everybody that you can make something by listening to. I think the craziest thing he's doing is trying to prove that you can break out of being just a content creator. He's already proved that with A Heist with Markiplier and In Space with Markiplier, because he is a fantastic actor. However, he is not taken seriously in Hollywood, which is strange to think about, because he's great at what he does. He's a great director, he's a great actor, he's a great writer. But Hollywood doesn't take him seriously, which is why he's working also off of fuck you energy, because he is trying his hardest to tell Hollywood, fuck you, I can do this. And how is that not inspirational, you know? I haven't seen any evidence of it, but Film Twitter is not happy. Film Twitter is not happy that Mark is doing what he's doing, but Film Twitter is also just full of assholes who complain about the smallest things when it comes to certain movies and when it comes to certain casting decisions. I think right now they're up in arms about the live-action Lilo and Stitch movie, which, to be fair, That is something we should be talking about. We shouldn't be bragging on content creators because they're breaking out of their boxes, you know? Successful content creators became successful because they fell in love with the production that goes behind their own videos. And I think that they should have a chance to not only prove that they can do something, but to be able to showcase the thing that they're the most passionate about, which is why I'm also excited about Iron Lung. I'm not excited that it's a horror movie. I'm definitely not excited about that. But it's definitely going to be an interesting time. And it's going to be interesting to see Mark break out of talking to the camera, you know? It's actually going to be in theaters. Which, I don't even remember if Free Guy was in theaters. But Free Guy also had a bunch of different content creators on it, like Pokimane and Ninja and Jacksepticeye. But they were doing what they're known for. They were streaming. They were talking to a camera. And I can't remember the last time content creator movies were good, no? Because we had the Smosh movie. The Smosh movie was just play on the internet culture at the time, and it not age well. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And Shane Dawson has also made movies too, but that's another ballpark that I'm just not going to get into. So it's gonna come out this summer, and I know how everybody feels about the theaters right now. I know how the theater industry is good, but if Mark was to YouTube would get most of the money. Mark was supposed to streaming platforms. There is no reliable way for a movie to use the numbers that they get on those streaming platforms to determine whether or not that movie did good. Even if you put a money gate on it, people are just gonna wait until it's free. So I know nobody likes theaters, but when this movie comes out, I do want people to see it in theaters. Because the box office will be the only way that we tell Hollywood, fuck you, basically. We're done with the John Wick movies. We're done with the Fast and Furious movies, and we're done with you franchises that mean a lot to us. And we're done with you underpaying voice actors when they're not A-list celebrities. There's a whole list of possibilities that could happen with this movie, and I'm excited to see what happens next. I'm not excited about the horror elements, but I'm excited to see what happens.